Okay, so time for my longer review of the new Superman movie. It's going to be another long one for my two percenters who actually make it to the end. Hope some of you stay as long as you can. Spoilers, spoilers are plenty, obviously, and obviously I liked it. A solid B, not a B plus, not a B minus, not an A, not a C, a solid B. Now I'm going to talk about the things I really disliked first, so we don't end on a bad note. Um, and those two things are going to be one, the appearance of Supergirl. I said there were spoilers, which I hate so much. The more I think about it, the angrier I get, and the revelation that Jor-El and Laura sent Clark to Earth to take it over. Now, Supergirl's appearance was, in a nutshell, everything I feared from a James Gunn Superman movie, sacrificing everything for a stupid adolescent joke. She shows up drunk, comes in through the wall because she can't find the door, and the reason Crypto is so wild and uncontrollable is that she likes it. She likes the rough play with him. He throws her around and they crack the floor. So all of that throughout the movie, this is the payoff of that movie run, the movie long joke of Crypto being this wild chaos agent throughout the movie. Oh, and I'm validated by that, by the way. People saying, "Oh, you don't understand the context of Crypto." No, here's the context of Crypto in this movie. That opening scene, we see how metahumans came to first appeared on Earth 300 years ago. They're building this new DC universe. That's great. 30 years ago, Kal-El landed. 3 years ago, Superman made his first public appearance. 3 days ago, he interfered in a war. And today, he just faced the first defeat ever in his life as a consequence of that interference. So this is a major, major moment in the life of Superman. So what else do you do but have a stupid joke about a dog? It was bad in the trailer. It's worse now with the context. But back to Supergirl. For those of you who don't know, she was eliminated post-crisis. They wanted Superman to be the only survivor. They finally brought her back in the early aughts, and they decided to examine the idea that someone who actually experienced the death of Krypton would be somewhat traumatized, especially a teenager, and she was. So they had her acting out, which makes sense. Unlike the Silver Age, where she didn't really seem to be bothered. She landed, got her new family, and she was okay. But they decided no, she's going to be hurt by this. Not that they did it well. Their idea of having her act out was visible thongs and low hanging jeans. Grown men were doing this. They included it when they did the New 52. She came to Earth angry, traumatized, was so angry she wound up in the Red Lantern Corps, which I guess makes a bit of sense. She's so consumed with rage and so powerful. And this is what Tom King drew upon when he did the great Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow miniseries. She goes off to other galaxies or systems with the red sun so she can drink to deal with her pain. And this is what James Gunn seized upon. This is all he saw. He saw she's somewhat traumatized and she gets drunk, and that's all he sees. He didn't see any of the rest of the series, which is about her empathy. There's also a single issue where she's watching, where you get to see how she experienced both the death of Krypton and Argo City when her father saved it from Krypton. Of course, it's part of Krypton's because the explosion that turns to kryptonite begins to slowly kill everyone on it. So she gets to watch people die twice. And this is all James Gunn is. All he knows. You heard him talk about, oh, she's the most effed up Supergirl ever, effed up Supergirl ever. And you see this is how he sees her. He sees her as a drunk, and he makes a dumb joke. Not only does this sacrifice the character of Kara, this sacrifices the character of Superman because he doesn't show any empathy to his cousin who is so clearly in pain. No, it's for more jokes that Superman can make with Gary, formerly number 4, the robot. Oh yeah, the dog. They've got no boundaries. That's the reason he's like that. Jokes. He sacrificed character for jokes. I'm going to Monday morning quarterback here. A better scene would have been him saying, "No, Kara." He recognizes his cousin's pain. So why don't you stay here with me? And you see her tentatively wanting to accept because he's the only other person in the universe who knows anything about this, as well as being her family. But then he mentions going to the Kent farm, and that's when she draws back because she realizes even though he lost everything she did, he still got to have a family, and she didn't. And this is what sends her off again. And that more than anything sets up the beginning of Supergirl, Woman Tomorrow, because they're making that movie right now. And that book actually begins with her in a bar drinking. Crypto accompanies her. And in this movie, Crypto is her pet, not Superman's. So yeah, the more I think about that Supergirl thing, the angrier I get because it's everything I dislike about James Gunn as a filmmaker, just crystallized in one scene. And believe me, I do see the appeal of Crypto as like this chaos goblin running rampant throughout the movie. But there still has to be moments where he stops and shows some degree of the empathy we know dogs have. That makes the wild parts funnier and doesn't disrupt an emotional scene. Now, the other thing that really pissed me off, some of you rightly guessed, was the revelation of Joel and Lara. And in the context of the film, he gets the, he has the traditional message from his parents: go to Earth, be good, take care of them. But half of it's damaged. And when the engineer and Lex Luthor break into the fortress, the engineer repairs it, and the rest of the message is take over the planet, kill as many as you have to, and breed with as many women as you can to keep the Kryptonian genes going. They keep doing this. Everyone who does this thinks they're being so subversive and brilliant, but it's an old idea. It actually started with Superman the movie, showing Krypton as some kind of dystopia, and it was never perfect in the comics. They had a Phantom Zone for a reason. They would do backup stories of the world of Krypton, showing that they had problems, but it still should be mostly great to be a tragedy that he lost it. When it's not great, it's not a tragedy he lost it. You lose drama in the characters. Like when they try to make the Waynes dirty. The Waynes have to be good for Bruce Wayne to truly have lost something in his life that drives him. Same with Krypton. This is crap. And it's so easily repaired. Even in the context of the film, when Luthor reveals the message, people are saying, yeah, he probably changed it. And the machine and the engineer is also biased because she doesn't like Superman either. He's an alien. She thinks he's an alien going to take over the world. So her interpretation is also biased. So it's easily fixed. And I hope the next film gets rid of it, because this is crap. It adds nothing to the character. And it's just another, I'm going to say, a slightly edgelord thing. I mean, that breeding thing, that's so edgelord. I told you before, he's more like Zack Snyder than you realize at times. And this is one of those times that is crap and needs to be dispersed with Toot Sweet.